Hi everybody, welcome to the Kirsty Meakin show / Adam show / Kirsty and the Gang show. How about that? So today we've got Andrea and we're going to show you how to do a fill with acrylic. We're going to break everything down, go through step by step. So if you want to know how to do a fill, this is the video for you. So let's get cracking. So Andrea has on, how long have you been on? 4 weeks? No way. 5 weeks? That's, your nails just hardly grow.
No, but they don't for ages, and then all of a sudden
They just go, ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know what else? Because I get them nice and tight to the cuticle without flooding the cuticle. You're getting a little bit longer out of them, which is good. So what I'm going to do is, I kind of like made these gems. They're not actually gems. They're we made them out of foil and gel and stuff, and I'm sure we'll link the video somewhere. But we're going to take them off, see if I can actually take them off, if they actually come off like, oh yeah, look at that. But, do you know, because they're not stones, the actual e-file should whiz straight through them. So let's have a little blast with the e-file. Because normally I would just start clipping them off, but because they're gel, I think it's kind of pointless because it's just going to file through. You don't want to do that if they are stones, if they're real crystal stones. Then if you use an e-file on them, it just ruins your e-file and it's not good. And then what happens is they kind of flick off, and they can flick off in your face. It's not a vibe. It's not good. It's a little bit painful. So let's have a go whizzing through these and see what happens. I'm going to use this bit, which is the pink Swarovski crystal bit. So with this bit, it's a ceramic cross-cut bit, so it can be used in both directions. So if you're left-handed, you can still use this as well. And it's not super coarse, but it's coarse enough to take off this gel here and the top coat. Perfect for taking off gel polish as well. So that's the one we're going to use. So it's always like key when you come to do a fill to actually remove the previous design, especially if it's done with gel polish or hard gel or whatever gel it is. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to take off a bunch of the acrylic, so that's important. So I'm going to go around the cuticle first. I'm not touching the natural nail look, so I'm going straight on top of that acrylic where it stops, so where that fill line is. And then you'll see as I pull down, I'm going to be able to take off the top coat and that previous design. And always moving, don't kind of stay in one place too long. You don't want to build up heat. But because this is a ceramic bit, it won't heat up like a carbide bit will. So a metal carbide bit will heat up more so than a ceramic bit. And at this point, if you've got any lifting or anything like that, that's when you want to rectify it by just removing any lifting pockets. But at the minute, we're lifting pretty good. And yeah, that files through those little sort of stones, those little crystals we made out of gel. That files through them lovely. So I'm going to do this on all of the nails, and even coming through this gel, which is thicker, it's filing through enough. I don't need to go any coarser. I don't need to get my purple bit, because the purple bit in the pack is more coarse, but we don't need that one. We just need the pink crystal bit. And I'm putting my finger underneath the length of this nail, because as the nail grows down, it loses the support because it's not attached to all of the nail, is it? So you've got to make sure you support that length of the nail so your client isn't uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable.
Yeah, good. Make it easy for you as well to get right down those sides. If you feel like you can't quite get down from this angle, just bring the hand to the side and then you can get down that side because you can see a lot clearer. Right, so let's do the rest of the nails now. Now, I need to be very careful with Andrea because she has super thin skin. So I'm just going to be as very gentle as I can. This is the cuticle bit, and we'll also use the proximal fold bit as well. Low speed. So you sort of want to bounce around 7 in reverse. I'm using it in reverse because I want the cuticle to be pushed back, and it pushes it back. So if we kind of do 1/2, so you can see exactly what I mean. Give it a dust. Can we get, there you can see that nice and close. So you can see how this is pushed away and this is still attached and it's coming down. We've actually revealed even more nail. You're not being aggressive though, you're just gently pushing it back. The rotation of the bit will push the cuticle back. You don't have to like go, just come round. Right down the sides as well. And if you can kind of feel non-living tissue on the nail plate that you can get off. It kind of feels like a little bit rubbery. And you can feel it through the handpiece, that it feels different than nail. So you want to get that off as well because that's going to hinder you with your application and the adhesion of the product. So I'm going to go round in this motion and at this angle on all the nails. So I'm not digging in with the tip like this, I'm coming quite flat with it. So we're going to use the proximal fold bit now, again on a low speed. And we're going to go round the proximal fold, so we're going round the skin now. And we're just going to exfoliate any dry skin, just to give it a nice clean appearance. You still want it in reverse. This is if you're right-handed, you want it in reverse, because I'm moving from my left to my right, so I want the e-file to be in reverse mode. If I was left-handed, I would be working from my right to my left, and I would have it in the forward motion. So we're going to use the mandrel bit now. So with the mandrel bit, it's got a beautiful AB Aurora Borealis Swarovski crystal at the top, but that's not the most exciting bit. It's got a lock system. So this safety lock system is done with tension. So these prongs actually flex. So as we push the sanding band on, so as we push this on, those prongs slightly push in and it holds it nice and snug. Whereas sort of, we've seen them before where they just have sort of like a groove. See, I can't pull that off now. It needs to be in the actual handpiece for me to be able to pull it off. And if this ever went slack, which I've not had any trouble with, but if it did go slack, you could actually just prise these prongs out a little bit. So it'll last you pretty much forever. Now with the sanding band, we're going to go with a low speed because it will heat up. Low speed because we don't want to eat away at the nail. We just want to abrade the top surface of that natural nail that's coming through. So if we look at this, and we're going to go in the no, we're not going to go in reverse, we're going to go in forward motion. I'm going to move from my right to my left. If you're left-handed, you're going to do it the other way. And we're just etching to create like a key for the product. And that's all you need to do with that. So we're going to go over all of these nails. And you want the speed to be that slow that if you press hard, it's going to stop. Yeah, you're going to force the machine to stop. So that's like how slow it'll be. That a bit loud now?
Yeah. Have I got roll?
No. Doesn't do anything.
Does it not?
No. Not strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to press on hard, light pressure. And I just want to quickly show you this. So if you were going to do the other hand, and if you take a look at the sanding band now, so you can see that it's worn at the top. Now don't go on to the next hand with that. Do this. Flip it round. Then use that fresh part. And you're going to have exactly the same prep. Now, so when you come to do the other hand, instead of using another one, you just flip it over. When you come to do that one, you'll have a fresh bit. It's all nice and neat, and you'll get the same abrasion, so you're not going to have any lifting problems. So, let me just make sure they're nice and straight. Dust off. We're going to wipe over. So, we're going to use the Nailchemy cleanser. And we're going to clean all this area. That's the main area you want to clean. You can slide it across the whole surface of the nail, but we're just going to clean that fresh nail, and we're also pushing back the cuticle as well still. Then today we're going to be using the Nailchemy Genesis acrylic system. This colour is called Blossom. Now we do not need a massive bead, yeah? So the angle of my brush wasn't really low, and I'm going to work from the centre of that bead out to the edges and just tuck that nicely. Tipping the finger down. I'm just going to hydrate here, so when I pull this product over the top, it'll just adhere really nicely. And then you're looking to make sure that you've rebalanced the apex. The apex is now in the back third of the entire length of the nail, whereas before it had just grown forward a little bit. So, when we're going into the pot, we kind of like it at a 45-degree angle. 1, 2, 3. Straight on, press, wipe the brush, work from each side. And just tuck it at the sides. Do not flood the cuticle. The easiest thing for you to do is to point that finger down and it will run away from the cuticle. And slide down. You can see a tiny bit there. There we are. So again, we've rebalanced that apex. Now if I went into this powder and went really low, like this, 1, 2, 3, the bead will be a lot bigger. If I go into it at a 45-degree angle, 1, 2, 3, it's smaller. I'll show you this paper in a minute. If I go even higher, 1, 2, 3, small bead. Let me just show you. So we've got different size there. And I've just knocked that everywhere. Now if you don't clean your brush and your brush is filled with monomer, it will then feed into the bead and it'll all of a sudden just make it really runny. And it will move and run, and that's not what you want. So it's really important to make sure that as soon as that bead is placed down, you clean your brush. You just literally wipe it. Wiping it will make sure it gets rid of that excess liquid, and also it will reshape your brush as well so you can use it. You don't want your brush to be all like, you want to make sure you don't want your brush twisted like this. Yeah, you want to make sure it's nice and paddled. So when it's paddled, it's a lot easier to pull the product down. I'm going to use a 150 grit file. I'm just going to take off the edges. So you want to take off the sharp edges. Just use another file. You can keep that file just to do this. Because if I use this file now, can you see I've taken off a lot of the grit there? So keep that file just to take off the edges. I used to know a man, I still know the man, called Trang Nguyen, and in competitions I used to compete against him, but then I actually competed for his brand, and I always knew when if I was running behind, because I'd hear this, because as soon as he was going to start filing, that's what happened. I used to do this, knocking the dust off his file.
Yeah. Was it a bit of a habit thing as well?
Yeah, it's a habit thing, but then I was like, oh my god, I'm still applying product, I need to be filing, I should be filing by now because Trang's filing, so I should be filing, oh my god! So yeah, it was like, oh no! So, I'm just going to whiff round that cuticle area. Now, if you've created a bit of a lip, it's going to create lifting. So if you have like a ridge here, it's going to create lifting. So you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. Now, if you struggle to get in with a file, you can always use the secret weapon bit. So I'm just going to show you that now, because some people don't like to get their file too close to the skin, understandably. But what you can do is you can use this electric file bit, just come round and it'll tuck in and it's not going to cut the skin. So if you feel like you're just too afraid to get so close with the actual file, this is perfect. We also use this for cleaning under the nails, cutting new smile lines. But yeah, if you kind of do this, you know at least you haven't got a lip. So once you've done that cuticle area, yeah, you're going to come down the sides, make sure everything's nice and straight. Make sure your sides are still nice and straight. You'll find that when you've got a client that has nails that kind of grow down, this will actually start dropping down. So this is where you would start to get rid of that. If you want to come and file right in here, you're best doing it with a metal file. So with a metal file, you can get right in. It's thinner, it's stronger, it can get right into these corners without losing any strength from those corners. If you go in with a normal file like this, it's a lot thicker, it's harder to get in there because we've got the skin that's in the way, it needs to be pulled out, and you run the risk of doing this motion. All filed, now it's time to buff.
What does the buffer do?
The buffer makes it nice and smooth, removes demarcations, and you can see I'm sort of going in this motion, so I come round the cuticle area and down. So I haven't really touched the middle yet at all. And then I can come across the top, and it just smooths it and reduces the scratches and demarcations in the nail. Because if you left it quite rough like that and then put gel polish on it, your gel polish would look slightly rough as well. Some people do that and they like it and they think it makes everything adhere a little bit better, but I honestly think there's no proof. There's no proof to it. You want it to be nice and smooth, the gel polish will be smooth.
Less coarse.
Yeah. So, all dusted off, going to clean over, lint-free wipe, going to clean over with the cleanser. And can I just congratulate myself that I've not cut Andrea?
There is a first time for everything.
Yeah, I always sometimes give it a bit of a graze. But no, they look nice, they do. So these are ready for either a top coat, you can put gel polish on, you can do whatever you want, but that is just, I wanted to really break down the fill because I know a lot of people think, oh yeah, we do a full set, but then how do we maintain it? What goes into it? So hopefully that's been really helpful for a lot of you. Everything I've used today will be listed below. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that shebang. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Ta-ra, duck!